Ticker symbol GTBP could be prepping for a breakout. Let's go ahead and go over those details before tomorrow. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a ticker symbol GTBP, technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this Taco Tuesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we're looking at GTBP on the daily chart, and this is what I got to show you here on the daily. Okay, so this is a broadening descending or a descending broadening wedge, and this is a bullish formation. And it does have already the golden rule of three kind of completed, right? We have test number 1 of the resistance right up here, test number 2 right down here, number 3, and we have that test number 4 failure. Okay, so what that means is that we could be in preparation to breaking out on that test number 5, which is also a true breakout test. Okay, another reason that we can tell that there could be a bounce to the upside here is particularly because of the SMA 50 converging here with the SMA 10, right? So we're getting that very, very tight moving average convergence here, and I do believe that we can actually use that SMA 10 as a guide towards the way up, right? So as you can see that it's literally being used as that currently, right? Day after day after day. So, yeah, that paired with the 5th breakout test could actually signal the bulls to enter long this asset. Okay, so now per the trading book rules, okay, the trading I'm talking about the traditional rules of trading this broadening descending wedge. You actually have a top side target, and this would be the price objective per this formation at 107, okay, and this is essentially how you trade it. You would apply a trend line from the very genesis of the formation, and that gives you your overall top side per this formation. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and now kind of match some fibs to this to see if we can you know, maybe rectify some of those upsides, right? Some of the upside targets, right? First of all, I'm going to take the fib range from this wick high to this wick low and see if there's anything within that bound. Okay, so just like this here, please notice that the top side of 107 is rhyming very, very closely with the 3-spot 618 at 105, the golden mean. Okay, you guys, so that is very good. Another very curious fact here is that if you can take a look really closely here, this is the SMA 100 located right at that 107 target as well, right? Very curious times here. And yeah, and just so you know, right, that the rejection of the price action that we've been getting here is actually in respects to the SMA 100, to the 100-day simple moving average. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart to see what we have here. Okay, so this is on the 8-hour chart, and this is particular to a pennant being built during an upside. Okay, so this formation actually signals a continuation to the upside based on the formation being built during the upside, right? So that kind of favors the bulls. So there are 3 sets of targets that we can follow. Okay, so the top side target here is actually taken by a trend line from the top side of the triangle all the way to the lowest point of the triangle, right? The second set of bulls right here, that would be taken from the center of the triangle, and then the third set of bulls would actually be taken from the point of a supposed breakout, okay? So which is usually at around 65 to 70% to the apex of the triangle. Okay, you guys, so what I'm looking at here, honestly, is the SMA 100 on the 8-hour time frame is serving as a resistance, okay? So this can actually give us a little bit of a pullback, right? But it's okay, you know, we can actually pull back all the way to the area of about I would say 3178. We're currently at 34, right? At around 3178, and it'll still be okay, right? Because it'll essentially just continue validating the formation support from the you know, in the first place, right? So yeah, this is essentially what I'm looking at, guys. Take a look at this. The first target, which is the shorter end, right, the one closer to the apex, is leading to about 6097, which is very close to the 1-spot 618 at 5971. Very, very, very tight. Okay, you guys. So now the next one here, the middle of the triangle, that is the second set of bulls, and that would be a target of 7002, which is actually just upside of the 2 fib. Now, this one here is rhyming very nicely too. Okay, so this is the top side, which is the highest part of the third set of the bulls, right? So this actually would be leading to just upside of the 2-spot 618. So that naturally gives us a resistance range to kind of evaluate, right? So just we'll take a box just like this, right? Oh my goodness, come on, there we go. We'll take a box just like this and apply it to that 8260. I don't think that, but okay, that's as close as I'm going to get to it. Okay, so this is now a resistance range that we can evaluate for future price action, right? So to be very clear, during the short term, I can actually see a very short term pullback, like I said, right back down to that area of about 31.78 before we can actually bounce to the upside and succeed both of the SMA 10 and the SMA 100 to convert them into support so that we can continue to the upside here and validate this resistance yet again. I'm not sure that we can get the breakout on the next test, but what I can see is that we can potentially start accumulating here, and then we could make a pretty nice upside run. Okay, so this is essentially what I'm looking at here. The 8-hour RSI is about to face some resistance, right? So you can see here that this is the SMA 14, represented by that pink line, and the RSI signal itself is the cyan line or the teal line. Okay, so that you can see that we have a little bit of resistance to be faced at this SMA 14. This is why I drew this here, that there's a high probability that we can actually rise just a little bit more, face a resistance from that SMA 14, and then come back down, right? So which by the way is very reminiscent to what's actually happening between the SMA 100 and the SMA 50. So this could be the rejection that we're finding in the immediate short term at around 34.39, maybe 35 cents. I would actually give you I'm going to give you a range, right? So it would be the SMA 10 at about 34.43 to the top side of this wick here, which could be around 35.30. Okay, so yeah, clean scent, and then we could actually face that resistance, come back down, test that new support or the existing support from the pennant, and then we could continue to the upside. Okay, so next chart, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is the 5-day volatility versus momentum profile. Okay, so what you're looking at here is actually contracting volatility paired with upside on stochastic momentum. So what stochastic momentum is doing is actually giving you the bias for direction for the asset, right? So you can actually see that the EMA 3 versus the SMA 14, they're both pivoted towards the upside with contracting volatility. That usually is a pretty nice volatility versus momentum setup, right? So if we are actually coming down from the critical volatility zone, if we're contracting, on our way to that mean band, to the mean of the volatility, that means that we're essentially in a mean reversion play. Okay, so this means that we can actually come right back up to this target here. Remember, this is in respect to the 5-day chart, so this can take some time. Okay, so 47 cents would actually mark that resistance. So now, if we're matching that 47 cents with anything in the immediate short term, I guess it would have to do with the 1 fib, which is literally the high of this candle here, and that high is 47.90, right? So it's curious that we're getting that retracement back to that similar target, right? So another thing that we actually could keep in mind here is these upside targets here. So if we're looking at 81.96, about 70 cents and 60 cents, let's just see here. So we have look at this. We have about 83.02 to the top side of the bands right over here. So 83, and then we have about 82 cents here at the top side of this pennant. Okay, so things are kind of rhyming geometrically and psychologically as well. So this is a very good thing, okay, you guys. So upon reaching that target of about 47 cents, around I would say about 48.33, right around there, or 47.45, that could actually serve as a short-term resistance, right? And we could come back down and test this current low of about 34. I would actually say between 34 and 26.62. So we can actually put in that drawing or that current support level that we're talking about, right? Just like this here, this could be that support, 26.62 to about 32.01 before actually facing a continuation to the upside. And this is happening after we can get that 47 cent touch, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so right over here, you can actually see that this is the RSI chart, right? But I'm going to go ahead and make this the 8-hour, and I want to show you something that's happening. So there could be one drive of hidden bullish divergence, and this variety is actually not validated just yet. As you can see here, the pivot from the RSI signal is still very much consolidating, right? But as soon as we get this pivot to the upside, then that would essentially validate the the drive of hidden bullish divergence, which would be very good for the asset. Okay, so it's almost there. It's not validated just yet, but I wanted to go ahead and point that out and just let you know that it kind of is in play, right? So well, we have to make sure to kind of follow that, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here. We're going to start off with the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, just like we always do, right? So this is look at this. The 30-minute is literally suggesting what we talked about. We're talking about a very short-term upside, particularly to this zone here, all right? So that's going to be 34.43 to about 35.30, pullback from this area here, and then we could actually, I mean, the higher likelihood could also be 34.41 in respects to the SMA 100 here on the 8-hour, represented by that blue line. Right, so yeah, we can make that short-term upside, face the resistance, and then come back down. Okay, so the 30-minute immediate short-term is suggesting that by actually suggesting that we have the SMA 14 slightly above us, which can serve as a form of resistance. Okay, so now the next thing to look at here is actually the bi-hourly, and it's showing a little bit of consolidation, although it is within the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile. So this is a good thing there too, okay? So now looking at the 6-hour time frame, of course, we're actually making a cross below that 14-day simple moving average, suggesting a continuation to the way down. But we have to be very careful when we're looking at things like that, right? As you can see here on the 12-hour and on the daily, and maybe even the bi-daily too, there are still some consolidation / downside suggestions, right? So if that's the case, then yeah, we can actually face a short-term downside, face the support from the SMA 14 on all of those time frames successfully before actually making a continuation to the top side. Okay, so and yeah, I would really tend to favor this massive support bottom, 26.62 to about 32.01 in the event to where we need to validate higher time frames for a more secure position, right, you guys? So now and then looking into the daily and the 3-day, actually, there's a lot of consolidation happening there. So yeah, what all this consolidation on the upper term time frames is essentially telling me that we're waiting for the shorter time frames to start influencing the upper time frame. So we want them to cascade in or domino effect right into the larger time frames. This is usually something I speak about, usually something I talk to my students about, and that is exactly what we're waiting for here. Okay, you guys, please, but please remember that this is, I mean, for the immediate short term, you already know I'm looking for a short term upside followed by a downside to validate the support of this, or to further validate the support of this symmetrical triangle, right? You guys, upon this validation of the support, which could honestly lead, to around 30.22. Remember, we have a lower side of about 26. So just keep an eye on those targets, okay, you guys? But please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, you guys, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.